Hello everyone, I'm Jérémy Robert, a translator from English to French and French to English. Today I will read some poems from Your Name Palestine by Olivia Elias, which I translated into English with Sarah Briggs. The book was published last October by World Poetry Books. Olivia Elias is a poet born in Haifa. She lived until the age of 16 in Lebanon, where her family took refuge in 1948 before moving to Montreal and then France. In 2022, she published her first book in English, Chaos Crossing, at World Poetry, which was translated by Kareem James Abu-Zeid. And you may listen to Kareem read some poems from the book on Jill's website and YouTube channel. The last poem I will read, Day 38, November 14, is an homage to the children of Gaza. Music. I was born in the land of beauty. Beauty before, beauty behind, beauty all around. Lying in my crib, I dove my eyes into your blue so perfect that I drowned in it forever. In the primordial light, everything appears at the same time, an outlined shadow by its side, tree, bird, flower, child, young girl. Always the light and the wind playing between sea and sky hills and deserts, smelling of almond and jasmine in blooms. Then came the time of exile. The time when we were told, this is not your home, this is our home. The last of us waited in line, suitcases on their heads, wading through the water of the port, to embark on ships that would take them elsewhere. Before them, others were shoved aboard trucks and trains. It was mealtime. The dishes were still steaming when the new arrivals entered our houses, sat down on our chairs and put their feet on our tables. At the end of daybreak, the train that took them stopped in Amman, then Beirut, and so on. The last of them got off in Damascus, Rif Dimashq, the city at the center of which ran the Barada. Only then did they learn that they would have to wait such a long time before picking oranges in their garden again. Musicians proceed. I will tell you once again the story of he who, sensing that his end was near, turned toward the wall and refused to welcome the Imam, because he could not promise him to see Jerusalem again, the eternal city. Musicians, listen. I must start there, confirm this reality. I was born at this latitude and this longitude, 3648 north, 350 east, 548 meters above the sea, to be precise, because everything else has moved. My country, my place, and my house. My country that is no longer my country. My place that is no longer my place. My house that is no longer mine. At this latitude and at this longitude, they try to change the order of time, break the harmony of the world, sweep roads and borders aside, force the earth to tell a different story. Jerusalem Al-Quds, 3146 north, 3512 east, 745 meters above the sea. In the forbidden city, they still play English and Indians and demolish the house of the living to build cemeteries. Gaza, 3428 east, 3130 north, 40 meters above the sea. A Mediterranean ghetto, a Middle Eastern Korea where the roads lead nowhere, the boats do not anchor in any port, and the horizon does not open onto any crossroad. Eyes fixed on the Mediterranean, mirage shimmering from afar. We sail from island to island between walls and barbed wire, with this concrete border that runs to the Orient, faster than the tide, to reach the rising sun. Musicians, I am speaking to you of a country engulfed in a fault of history, of a people chosen to pay the price of another sacrifice, of a story more than 100 years old, full of sound and fury and blood. Behind doctored words, clean war, surgical strike, lies the same old dark reality, lootings, blackmail, extortions, beheaded sun and acid-attacked moon, clouds flat from dropping bombs, starving animals feeding on bullets. If they could, they would run to the sea and drown. Territory riddled with anger and rage, days in concrete trembling, buildings collapsing one by one onto humans guilty of wanting to live, die here or there, the only choice left to them. Ruins upon ruins, and among the ruins a vision, a rag doll, Batman on the wall jumping near a pink mouse, a kite going over the hill, a guitar torn apart on the table, near the sofa some pillows, a plastic chair. In the middle of the room, Yasmina's long dark hair flying, while Brahim whispers in her ear stories of today's time and the games resuming on the beach. This was my room. Crickets scatter in the fields and gnaw the plants to the root. History does more than stammer. Ares, god of war, has lifted his arm. The bloodshed may begin. Everything burns, fields and cities, immense mushrooms bloom in the skies. No more hens in the hen house, corpses of horses and beasts. Doctors searching for souls. Are they still there? Have they already left the bodies? Everywhere the acrid smell of death. Time of infinite sadness, oh rose and jasmine Palestine, dressed in dignity, dreaming impossible dreams. Drunk with power, they have hung your remains to the rear of their tanks and march making the V sign of victory to perfect your being torn apart. Is this how men live, and their kisses follow them from afar? Musicians, I am speaking to you of a life in the eye of the hurricane, smashed by the assaults of rogue waves, of a life capsized in the roaring 40s, of a life cracked at the mercy of the powerful. Mother Europe, who wearing her pretty dress, watches from a tower the lesser people struggling in hell. She can't help but nodding her head to the same old tune. The farce goes on, while the arms dealers rub their hands. These good-for-nothings will never listen to reason. Let us launch at once the production of some more powerful, deadly tools. I speak to you of a magnificent people driven by a fierce desire to thumb their noses at these abominations by cultivating the art of early morning coffee, capable of creating the kinetics of the knocked-up and that of corrugated iron, of painting donkeys like zebras to amuse the children. I speak to you of a people that knocks relentlessly on the doors of the future, of a country pushed into the margins of history. In this country, little Salma looks at Nidal with doting eyes, dreaming of a wedding. She will grow up and have children, who will have children, until a bullet straight in the heart cuts the thread of the story. What do the children of Gaza dream about? Who will speak of the pain of the survivors? How can they go through these tragic times while maintaining the desire to be human and alive? Who will recount the jest of those whose every action is a feat? The tree knows its name, so Native Americans say. Some have forgotten the tragic lessons from their past. They no longer know what a man is, how fragile life is, how sweet childhood. Come, you floods, rise, high winds, blow on the embers. May their weapons keep quiet. May they fall face against the earth, transformed into a cemetery, and cry for forgiveness. So many of us have fallen, mowed down by a bullet or too much pain. To honor them, I want, in the middle of the desert, a bare space with simple graves, no ornaments, no flowers, no wreaths, and above all, no blood. I leave the color blood to the colonizers and to their bullfighters. No speech. In front of the big square dedicated to the children of Palestine, Gaza, Jerusalem, Hebron, Deir Yassin, Jenin, Yarmouk, Sabra and Shatila, only kites and white balloons. I pray the wind to weave them all a warm and soft blanket. I ask the bluish moon and myriad stars to watch over them. I ask the sun to arrange in their honor fabulous settings lit up in purple and red. I ask the wind to say their names on every continent. May their souls rest in peace. So now I will read the poem Day 38, November 14. I didn't see the fall this year. I didn't see the acacia blaze. I didn't see the cranes fly away. Only bombs and more bombs on Gaza in ruins. No water, no food, no fuel and electricity for the people of the ghetto. Not even medicine. Absolute deprivation. So have decided the conquerors with the unfailing support of their powerful allies. In the first place, the big chief of America, who frantically shakes his veto rattle. I didn't see a single thing this fall. No blazing acacia, no flaying cranes, only a deluge of bombs dropped on the deadly mousetrap. Overflowing in the middle of this madness, the big living river with multiple arms of the children of Gaza. Your small bodies, which didn't get the time to grow up. Your dreams, which didn't get the time to blossom. Their small bodies, flowers of blood, your dreams blown away with the wind. I didn't notice the fall this year. I didn't say goodbye to the golden leaves, to the cranes. I must say goodbye. Goodbye to every single thing, like they do over there each night before going to sleep. Parents or children hugging each other and saying goodbye. Perhaps we'll be blessed to meet again in another life. A life that won't be ghettos and Bantustans, jails, bombs, and extinction. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you, Jill, for this opportunity to read these very strong poems. Goodbye.